Alright, aka Patters, Sunday Fun Day. It's not fun for Jeff Smith, the creator of Bone, one of the all-time single comic book efforts in the history of the world, but something, it's sad. We gotta discuss it. Alright, aka Patters. Be ready to look at here, aka Pat69. Stay with me, known through Philadelphia, Europe, and the multiverse as the Eclectic One. Grab yourself some of that sippy sippy. I just take two on this one. I just did like a 20-minute whole Jeff Smith rant, mostly attacking the comic book community on YouTube and the rest of the internet sphere, because it's hilarious that so many of you, when a creator passes away, and I'm not anyone, even we can even say like Neil Adams, so many of you love bomb that, and you leave these comments, and you kind of write these little stories with your posts about like what a creator meant to you, and it's all BS. Okay, no one believes it, no one buys it. It's pathetic. Equally pathetic is when a comic book creator, mostly on Facebook, they give you this whole story about someone that's not even validated, and you see all the comments flowing from there, and it's just, this is a part of the comic book fandom psychology that I absolutely hate. I really do. I never participate in it. You rarely will see me, but like what I'll do is to do a tribute. I'll do like a live stream where like I render something of that creator that means something to me. That's me contributing back into the ether of the universe. I'm not just doing a post, because I believe when you do things with zero effort, you actually just rip your energy from yourself, and you're sacrificing a piece of that to the almighty Dark Lord, which we don't like to do. So getting back to Jeff Smith. Now, Jeff Smith suffered cardiac arrest. You don't see a lot of this on YouTube. Very little traction on social media. Jeff Smith, okay, we know his work. We know Bone. I would say even hardcore comic fans cannot cite too much of his later work. Now, for a while, when I was doing my Shazam drops going around the Fury of the Gods, I had the Jeff Smith Shazam hardback on my list. I couldn't quite get there, because I believe I was ramping up for either Black Panther or Guardians of the Galaxy at that point. And sometimes like money and attention shifts real quick. But that Jeff Smith Shazam hardcover or miniseries it's still on my list. I still would like to present that to a lot of you, because I have purchased it since then. I just haven't really showed it off. But over here, like, Bone will forever be on my bookshelf. It's such a important piece of comic book, not literature, but really storytelling, long format storytelling, long format payoffs. It's one of the only stories of that length that it feels complete when you're done with it, but it also highlights the tortured career of Jeff Smith, because once Bone was complete, everything else after that was really like medium. Okay, and people might say, like, you might argue the quality, like point by point, like Rose and like this and that, Rascal, Shazam, as mentioned. You can kind of argue, like, toggle between what's here and what's underneath of it, but the real reality is he never quite climbed the mountain like he did with Bone. And to further that, Bone is a tortured property. Bone, in its core, it's a giant Disney pitch that never came to fruition. We never got the Disney merchandise, the Disney movies, the TV show. Pixar never made it into a masterpiece, and it goes from like Nickelodeon, recently more with Netflix, and as a part of the fandom, that was there when Jeff Smith really got up, because I remember going to local comic shops when I was a kid trying to find earlier issues of Bone, and this is before there were so many. I think 16 volumes with the regular trade paperback, 16 or 12. I want to say 16, but the original black and white trade paperbacks came later, and you would have to even then hunt them down, spend some money for this story. The later issues, and going into when Image released Bone, it became way more accessible. And at that point, I would even say, to me, the top two greatest comic book efforts ever. It was Akira, and then it was Bone, and the two of them were like a two-headed dragon. There's a big side of me that still feels that, because I do put Watchmen kind of right there in the middle. Not Watchmen Expanded, Watchmen original 12-issue miniseries with appendices. You gotta have the appendices. But Jeff Smith is critical to the idea of what one person can do. How one person can just create, and you create something good enough, big enough, perfect enough to inspire everyone forever. And that's it. The world's built on ideas. Jeff Smith suffered cardiac arrest. He canceled a major event, and no one is talking about it. This spins my mind, and it really goes to show you how disingenuous all the other YouTubers are, all the other comic book sites, all the other commentators you see on Facebook and Instagram. These people are grown liars, because they will love bomb Jeff Smith if he had passed away. And this practice, we just don't do it here. I said it before. If I feel like someone's inspired me enough, if I want to give back to the ether, so to speak, I will do a live stream tribute on my website. You see, we have a tribute section, and it just kind of goes through times where I was inspired by certain individuals, and some of these might have been during their birthday or at their passing, or a remembrance of their passing. I did it for the SpongeBob creator 5-6 years ago. But it's just it's troubling to me, because if Jeff Smith had passed, he would the news would have just stormed through comic books, and it's inconsequential, it's meaningless. But he's in a rough place, and he deserves our thoughts and our prayers and our hope, because we do want to see more from Jeff Smith. And just speaking of this, it does remind me, because I never saw it, but there's a documentary called The Cartoonist that stars Jeff Smith, and at one time you had The Cartoonist and you had Crumb as two those were the two comic book creator commentaries. We've gotten a couple since then, but I still to this day have never seen Jeff Smith The Cartoonist. But people, I'm sorry that this is not a dramatic, we got to talk about James Gunn, we got to discuss the Blue Beetle box office, or we're not talking about cartoonist K-Fake. This is just a straight up reminder that we have history, we have creators, we have individuals that we deeply love and care about, and their well-being is important, because they're not done giving back to all of us, and the circle continues. People, thoughts and prayers for Jeff Smith. Link to, and all of them, even Bleeding Cool. I'm not discriminating against the articles that I'm going to post underneath this video. I'm doing a top-down that Google provides, because it's important information, and I want all of you to be able to read up on it. Links down below. Read up on Jeff Smith. Thoughts and prayers. AKAPAD here. I love you guys.